All right, so as I was saying, I think the biggest problem was, like I said, the shoot away messed up my shot. My grandpa comes in. I was abused. My grandpa comes up with ideas. Ryan, you can't make things happen because I wanted help from my dad. My dad helped me my whole life. Then my dad, he's helping me, but at the same time, at times he wouldn't want to help me because he'd be like, I can't help you. It's no use. So then I'm like, Dad, I need your help, man. And my grandpa's like, Ryan, because my dad would beat me up. And then my grandpa's like, Ryan, you can't make things happen. You can't force things. You can't get your way. If you're in the flow, you're just, you have to just accept it. If your dad doesn't want to shoot with you right now, you got to just accept. So I'm like, okay, and I ended up doing that. And things were okay. I ended up living with my friend and fun, but I needed my dad's help. And I didn't know my dad was the one who messed up my shot with the shoot away machine. I didn't know that he was messing up my shot, telling me to do the wrong stuff. If it wasn't for my dad and the shoot away machine, I would have been a star basketball player. I really would have. And I could show my dad the details about what the shoot away machine did and how good shooters shoot, what I did when I was a good shooter, and how you can't do it with the shoot away machine. I want to do that. But anyway, so like I said, after I graduated from college, my mom and dad had, my grandpa had come up with that rule. He was like, because I was abused, he said, never bring up the past because, if you're in the flow, you're in the eternal moment. So, don't never bring up the past. But what he was talking about was never bring up the abuse that happened to me. Because he wanted me to, not bring that up and not get caught up in that and just be in the flow and be in the moment. But so when I try to talk to my mom and dad, I'm like, Mom, Dad, I discovered the theory of everything. They forced me to go to Kauai. They think I'm schizophrenic. I'm like, I discovered the theory of everything, the quadrant model. Can you guys just listen? No, you didn't discover the theory of everything, you fucking freak. You have schizophrenia. You need to take medicine. I'm like, Mom, can I please talk to Dad? He is never going to talk to you. Your dad fucking hates your fucking guts. He wants nothing to fucking do with you. You're a fucking schizophrenic loser. He's embarrassed that he has a son that has schizophrenia. And I was like, and if you think about it, my friends talk about this too. They're like, dude, if your son has schizophrenia, that doesn't mean that you treat him abusively. If anything, you would start to treat him more kindly and try to help him, but not my mom. And people will think that I'm exaggerating. If anything, I'm actually talking kinder than my mom talks to me because I'm not able to even put myself in that mode of being that my mom is, that very evil mode of being. So I'm trying to talk to my mom, please. And then, so I'm like, Mom, I figured out, because I want to talk to my dad. I'm like, she's like, she told me, she said, why would your dad want to talk to you after how you treated him in high school, in middle school? And I'm like, really, really high school, but I'll get to that. But I was like, Mom, I figured out what happened. This is the first time I ever brought it up because I wasn't allowed to talk about the past. I said, Mom, it was a shoot away machine. And oh my God, it was a shoot away. Oh, you don't take responsibility for anything. Again, she misinterprets my grandpa's teachings about taking responsibility. My grandpa says that she expresses predator-prey software and she's very immature. But she's like, oh my God, you think it was a shoot away? If anything, the shoot away machine would have helped you. What happened was you became mentally ill because you couldn't handle the pressure, and that's why you fell apart. It had nothing to do with the shoot away machine. You just couldn't handle the pressure, and you fell apart, and you started to become mentally ill. And that's the whole fucking thing. This is what I want to convey to my mom. I'm like, listen, if it wasn't for the shoot away, they think what my mom wants to believe is that I would inevitably there would have been problems between me, her, and my dad. No, my whole life we got along great. Everything was great. Everything was great, and everything would have stayed great. Everything would have been fantastic if my dad never got the shoot away machine. She wants to think it was inevitable that there would have been conflict, that there would have been conflict between me and my dad, that I had some sort of mental issues, and it was inevitable, and that's it. And I had some mental issues, and I had problems of making things happen, and I fell apart because I had mental issues, and I wasn't strong mentally, and it was something wrong with me, and I was mentally ill. She wants to believe I wasn't strong mentally, and that the conflict was inevitable. But the fact of the matter is, no, that's not the case. If it wasn't for the shoot away machine and my dad telling me to do the wrong thing, I would have been a basketball star. My mom and dad would have stayed loving me. Everything would have been, happily ever after. It would have been wonderful. It really would have been. I would have stayed a star basketball player. The thing about me was I was so good because I was unconscious. So my dad just passed to me. So when he passed me, I would just move into shots. And that's why I was so good. I just moved into shots automatically. I'm unconscious. I automatically aligned to what's perfect. But because I was picking the ball off the rack, I was doing it wrong. And I can show my dad exactly what was going on. And how he tried to fix it incorrectly. But, so I tried to tell my mom, listen, it wasn't my fault what happened. What happened was a shoot away. Oh my, don't fucking past, you fucking idiot! What did I fucking tell you? What does your grandpa teach you? Don't bring up the fucking past! And I'm like, Mom. She just hang up on me. Try to call my mom. And because I want to get basketball videos too of when I was younger. Can you guys help me get basketball videos? Because I want to study. First off, I want to study swag flow because I lost the swag flow in college. But second off, I want to study how I moved into shots, how I shot, and the moves I did because I did amazing moves. I was I was probably the best basketball player ever as a 9-year-old. I had some videos that were incredible, but they were lost on that sad day. I'm not gonna get into details, but I want to study what I did. And my mom's like, oh my God, you still fucking care about basketball? You're 22 years old. You fucking loser. You care about basketball? Why don't you get a fucking life? Get a fucking life. You still care about basketball? What are you, fucking 5? You're 22 years old, you fucking loser. So I'm trying to tell my mom, listen. If you and Dad can just help, if I could just see you and Dad, if you guys can just help me. No, we're never gonna see you. You have to accept that. You can't get your way, Ryan. You're never. Again, you can't get your way because she's stuck in the past when the shooter messed up my shot. I'm trying to fix my shot. And then my dad's mad at me. He said, I give up. And I'm like, Dad, I need your help. And then my grandpa comes in, Ryan, you can't always get your way. Your dad doesn't want to help you right now. You can't get your way. Yeah, Ryan, you can't get your way. My mom, yeah, you can't get your fucking way. So now she's still stuck in that mentality. She's still stuck. My mom has mental issues. So I'm just asking something very kind, very, very simple. Can I see Dad? No, you can't get your way. You have to accept that he's never going to see you. We're never going to see you. And you have to accept that for the rest of your life. It's never going to happen. You have schizophrenia. You need to take medicine. And I'm like, I don't have schizophrenia, Mom. She's like, yes, you fucking do. I can't believe, I'm so embarrassed to have a fucking schizophrenic loser son. And as I said, then I'm getting more into becoming a Marxist because I'm thinking like, you just have to accept things. This is spirituality. Just accept everything is fine. And the Marxism is no, you don't just fucking accept. If you're being mistreated, you fucking destroy the whole fucking system. You burn it to the whole fucking ground. That's the way I turned into because I'm so fucking angry. So I'm trying to tell my mom, listen, Mom, can I please talk to Dad? No, he's never gonna talk to you. And I'm like, Mom, what you guys are mad about, you're still stuck in the past about the shoot away. And my mom was like, don't bring up basketball, don't bring up the past. This is why you have schizophrenia, you're stuck in the past. Don't bring up basketball, you're 23 years old, you fucking idiot. And I'm telling my mom, can you please just get me back into, can you help me to go to college again? Because I just graduated from college with a 3.1 GPA. Can you help me get a master's degree? And then my mom's like, you can't get a master's degree. You have schizophrenia. You can't. She said, you're not going to be, you need to get Social Security. You're not going to be able to work. She said, if anything, you're going to be working at McDonald's, but you're not even going to be able to work there. You're going to be on Social Security for the rest of your life. And I'm like, you see? So, but I just want my mom's help. I want my mom's help. Then I talked to my grandpa. My grandpa's like, well, Ryan, if you want to go to the master's degree, then just get a job. Just go work at Jamba Juice and you'll make some money and then you can pay for a master's degree. Again, my grandpa just making things fucking hard for me. I want things to be easier. I discovered the theory of everything. I want some support. Well, then just go to Jamba Juice and get a job. And the thing was, I also graduated with a bachelor's degree. I didn't have to be working at Jamba Juice, but I didn't have no help from anybody. My grandpa could have been helping me, get a job in psychology or something, but, just go to Jamba Juice and just get a job there, Ryan, And then, so I'm like, dude, I discovered the theory of everything. I could be playing basketball and doing rap music. I was the best rapper in history. I fucking was. If I'm playing basketball, I can always write raps. I can't, I want help to get basketball videos when I was younger so I can study my shot, study what happened. And like, if they would have just helped me, I could have gotten basketball videos. I could have gotten back into basketball. I could have been writing raps. I discovered the theory of everything quadrant model. If they would have just listened to me and helped me out, I could have been getting that stuff out, but no one was helping me. Nobody helped me. And I could have gotten a master's degree. So like I said, even when my mom ended up forcing me to go to see the psychiatrist, like I said, she wouldn't let me go back to Los Angeles, but I went back to Los Angeles anyways. She's like, if you go back to Los Angeles, we're going to make your life hell. I went back to Los Angeles, and then I'm not going to go into details about all the psychiatrists and stuff, but my mom forced me to see a psychiatrist. And like I said, she forced me into an outpatient program They didn't want to accept me because I said I had no mental illness, but my mom, my aunt forced them to, because my aunt is more crazy than my mom. They both have mental issues. So they forced me into the to talk to the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist gave me psych testing, and she gave me interviews and she gave me all that stuff. And then she told my mom, she said, because my mom's like, he has schizophrenia. She told my mom, she said, he doesn't have any mental illness. In fact, he's highly functioning. And then my mom was like, oh my God, he tricked you guys. He tricked you. He's smart. He knows how to trick people. He knows how to manipulate people. He has schizophrenia. He has bipolar or schizophrenia. And then the psychiatrist was like, no, he doesn't have any mental illness. And then the psychiatrist told my mom, she said, and my mom was like, I just want him out of my life. I just want him to be independent. I want him out of my life. I don't want anything to do with him. I want him out of my life forever. And then the psychiatrist was like, how can you talk about your son like this? And the psychiatrist is fucking defending me. And then my mom was like, huh? Because my mom was like, wait, I'm just mimicking and repeating what his grandpa teaches. Because again, but my grandpa even says, no, your mom misinterprets what I teach. But because my grandpa's like, no, Ryan didn't discover the theory of everything. He just wants, when he first came in high school, when my shot was messed up, my grandpa was an idiot, and he was like, oh, this is normal. What's really going on is Ryan just wants independence, and that's why he's fighting with his dad. So have him live with me and have him live with his friend Afam. And no, that's not what happened. I didn't want independence. I wanted... the fact of the matter was my shot just got messed up because of the shoot away machine, and my dad told me to do the wrong thing, and it was a tragic situation. And my grandpa is an Ayn Rand fan, and his whole thing is independence and work hard and just be independent and work hard. And like I said, I always thought that was just white supremacy. His whole like work hard, independence, and take responsibility and just accept and work hard and be independent. And again, it's Ayn Rand, his whole Ayn Rand thing, just work hard and be independent. And, and I'm like, dude, I don't want independence. The fact of the matter was it was a tragic situation no matter what with the shoot away machine. And I didn't need independence because my mom and dad misinterpreted that as, they misinterpreted independence as be cold to him, throw him to the side, be mean to him, be callous, and that's what they think independence means. So my mom's like, I just want him independent. She's talking to the psychiatrist. I just want him independent. I want him out of my fucking life. And the psychiatrist told her, she said, so long as you talk about your son like that, he's going to want love. He's going to want affection and love and compassion from his mom. And if you talk about him like that, like you hate him and you want nothing to do with him, he's going to have problems. So the psychiatrist wrote up a whole thing. I have the papers online and I show them saying, I don't have a mental illness. She told my mom to stop trying to force me to take medicine. And she said that, and she asked my mom, she said, have you ever even listened to the quadrant model? I'm not making this up. This is what the psychiatrist and the nurses said. It wasn't just one psychiatrist. Two nurses were talking to my mom over the phone. Again, my mom's not there. She's talking to them from Los Angeles. My mom would never fucking see me. So the psychiatrist is like, have you ever even listened to the quadrant model? Have you even considered it? My mom was like, no, I never. Because my mom's like, of course he's schizophrenic. Of course the quadrant model has to be incorrect. My mom couldn't imagine that I discovered the theory of everything. She couldn't imagine that. So... because my mom already hated me from high school. She thinks that I had the problems. And again, she doesn't believe me about the shoot-away machine. It was a shoot-away machine. But she, my mom just think, she has a hatred for me and a disdain. She has a contempt and she looks down upon me. So in her mind, it's impossible that I could have discovered the theory of everything. But the fact of the matter was I was the best basketball player in the country. And I would have been the best and everything would have been wonderful if my dad never got the shoot-away machine and messed up my shot. And you know what? I happen to be the best to discover the theory of everything. So my mom doesn't believe that though. So my mom is like, he oh my God, he has schizophrenia. So she's trying to tell the psychiatrist that, and the psychiatrist is like, you never even listened to it? She said, have you supported him at all about the quadrant model? My mom was like, no, I've never supported it. And she was like, well, that's the problem. Because the psychiatrist and the nurses saw my shit and they thought, hey, this is actually kind of interesting. This is actually kind of good. But my mom never even fucking gave it a chance. So, so basically, but even after that, my mom was still contemptuous of me, and she was like, and she told my aunt, he just tricked the psychiatrist, he has mental illness. She never believed it, and she never listened to them. They told her, stop being mean to your son, stop being, and they told her, we think that you should take medicine. We think you have a personality disorder. They told my mom that, and they said, Ryan does not have one. They said, what Ryan has is family issues. And what they're saying is basically, you're a bad mom. That's Ryan's problem. He has a bad mom and dad who won't see him, who won't talk to him, who are being abusive to him. That's what they said. And they told my mom, because my mom was like, he doesn't know how to do anything. He doesn't even know how to what is it called? How to see a doctor, because I needed my medical insurance. They was like, well, does he have medical insurance? And my mom was like, no. They said, have you ever taught him how to do that? And my mom was like, no. They're like, well, how do you expect him to do stuff if you never taught him how to do anything? But my mom is like, what? Like, again, my mom's like, I just want to be independent. But my whole life, my mom did everything for me. And all of a sudden, she throws me to the side and is like, I just wanted to be independent because my grandpa says that. Because my grandpa says he just wants independence and she doesn't understand what he's talking about. That's not what my grandpa was saying. My grandpa was saying he wanted me to get a job so that I could, like I'm carrying water so that I can, develop myself, and then I can transcend the ego, and then I'll let go of the quadrilateral. No, I'm not going to let go of the quadrilateral. I discovered the theory of everything. So, the doctors were just, she was flummoxed. She was flabbergasted at how crazy my mom was. So, it was like 4 nurses. All of them were on my side. All the people at the psychiatric place in Aurora Hospital. So my mom is just like, what? She couldn't believe it, because in my mom's mind, she's like, she's thinking, I'm just doing what his grandpa taught. I just want him to be independent. I just want him out of my life. And they're like, no, stop being mean to your son. You haven't seen your son in years. You're being abusive to him. You're talking down to him. You're being mean. Of course he's going to have problems. Why don't you stop that? But my mom didn't listen. In my mom's mind, she's like, he just tricked them. He just tricked them. So after that, like I said, it's continued. So for years, I still tried to call my mom. First off, she would have me blocked most of the time. And she told me that she was going to NAMI meetings, like North American Mental Illness meetings, and she would talk to everyone about how I had schizophrenia. And my uncle told me that he talked to my dad, and my dad was like, I just want my son back from schizophrenia. No, I don't have schizophrenia, you fucking idiots. So my mom was saying that she would go to NAMI meetings, and then, what else? Oh yeah, and like I said, she would have me blocked most of the time. She told me she talked to her psychologist, and her psychologist was, recommended that it's best that she stop talking to me. Dude, she already was fucking not talking to me. So then, but I would talk to her. She would say, "Don't text me unless you have something that you need or something that you want." So I tried to get in touch with her, and I'd be like, "Mom, I'd like to talk to Dad about the shoot away machine. I'd like to tell him about what happened." And because I can show him videos, Mom will be like, no, talk about the fucking past. If I even bring up the shoot away machine or anything about basketball, no fucking past, no basketball, you fucking idiot, you fucking loser, you fucking schizophrenia. So I'd be trying to, talk about that, but my mom would never let me, like I said, if I even talk to her at all, she'd just hang up on me. And it's just hatred. It's just contempt from the very onset. She looks down upon me. She thinks I have schizophrenia. She thinks I'm mentally ill. So she just looks down upon me just in disgust. And the fact of the matter is, what's so crazy, what's going on through my mind the whole time is I'm thinking, this is so fucking bizarre. I discovered the theory of everything. They should be proud of me. They should be on my side. Everybody should. But I'm being abused and mistreated. No wonder the world is going to fucking burn because of that shit. So it's just fucked up. So I'm trying to talk to my mom. My mom's not talking to me. If I talk to her, I just want to show my dad about what happened with the shoot away machine. It wasn't my fault. No, talk about the fucking past. No, talk about the past. We're never going to see you. I talked to my mom, can I please see you and Dad? Again, she never for years, never says happy Thanksgiving, happy birthday, nothing. Never talks to me at all. The only thing I can do is text her, hey, can I get some money or something? Never talks to me, just hatred, just coldness, just contempt. So I asked her, Mom, can I please see Dad? No, you can't get your way. Oh, you just want to get your way. And again, this stems from the shoot away machine when I needed help from my dad. And then my grandpa comes in, Ryan, you can't always get your way. So my mom's still stuck in that because she's mentally ill. She's stuck in that. She's like, you can't get your way. You just want to get your way. You're not going to get your way. You can't make things happen. You can't force things. Because my grandpa's like, Ryan, you can't force things. Everything is one. So I have a bad mom. But all I'm saying is if I had some support, they could have helped me do a lot of stuff. I discovered theory of everything. I could have been a huge rapper, basketball, if I just could get some support. But I'm not going to get into details, but they ended up having me injured, all this stuff. And it's crazy.